Now I want to start this video by saying that I generally love being positive about games, and I've been loving the DMZ as it was before this patch. I'm going to offer my own solution for this because I don't want to just be a negative Nancy and not offer a solution to a problem that I see. So the solution I will have timestamped, but before then it'll be me talking about it and rant, giving my opinion. I obviously haven't played much of this patch because it just came out today, but I want to give my thoughts about the perk system in this game. And before I do that, I'm going to have something to mention. The DMZ was a fair playing ground because there was no perks. Every single tactical and equipment worked. Thermal scopes worked. Everything worked because there was no counter to it through the use of a perk like Cold-Blooded or EOD or, the tactical mask perk, whatever. I always forget it. Battle Hardened. I just remembered it. Anyway, everyone would spawn in with one plate carrier, a weapon of their choice, or two weapons if they brought an extra one from their contraband, and then their lethal, their tactical, and their field upgrade. The only time this changed was if someone was successful in extracting previously and came into the raid with extra stuff. They could have gotten lucky and found a 3-plate vest, and they could have brought out a Stealth Reviver, they could have brought out a Kill Streak. They also could have got out a backpack. And they could also bring out a Revive Pistol to bring in for the next raid. But that was it. There was no extras that they could bring in. The only thing that changed was the weaponry and the level of armor that they had, and if they had a Kill Streak or not. Now, what can happen is if they extract, they can have a random perk. Not a chosen perk, a random perk. And I know what you're thinking, well, it's random, it should be fine. But here's the thing. I, as a solo player, can get extremely unlucky with my perk rolls. I'm already at a disadvantage playing solo. However, I enjoy playing solo, and that's my prerogative. But someone as a squad of 3 now has the thing where they're already at a numbers advantage. Now they also can have a perks advantage. That is, even if they only extracted once altogether, that is 3 players with a perk each over my 1. They could have all 3 different perks, or they could get lucky for some reason and have the same one, which means that a team could possibly have all Ghost, they could all have Cold-Blooded, or they could have a random number of perks. Like, let's say there's a 3-man squad. One of them has Cold-Blooded, one of them has Ghost, and one of them has EOD, or Flak Jacket. That one player with Ghost, let's say I want to go see what's going on over at Sawa Village. I go over there and I activate the UAV. Well, I see 2 players. What I don't know is that third player has Ghost and I can't see him, so I think it's a squad of 2, correct? I'm like, alright, well now I pull out my spotter scope that I usually bring in with me, right? So I'm looking in through it and I'm like, alright, well let's turn on thermal. All of a sudden that second player that I could see, I now can't see through my thermal scope, so now I know he has Cold-Blooded. I'm like, alright, well let's try this. I get the drop on him. I have a grenade. I cook the charge the frag grenade and I throw it in the room. Let's just say this player has 3 plates. From what I know, this usually takes off about a plate to a plate and a half, give or take. I'm obviously guesstimating on these, but from what I know and my experience in the DMZ. So, I have now gathered the information that there's 3 players, all with their own each counter to something in my kit as a solo player. Let's just say I have High Alert. Now, we don't know if High Alert only activates on players, or if it activates on players and AI. But let's just assume the first thing is correct and it only works on players, for this example. I chose High Alert specifically, by the way, because Cold-Blooded doesn't activate High Alert. So already they have countered not only something in my kit, a tactical, and by tactical I mean my spotter scope. So now not only can I not see them in my thermal, I also can't see them in my spotter scope thermal, or even be scanned by my spotter scope. A thermal scope or whatever I'm using, plus the UAV that is activated on the map, EOD to reduce explosive damage, they have also now deactivated my own perk that I randomly got. And I'm sorry that I'm getting so bent up over this, but this is just the shittiest design decision I've ever fucking seen from a company that had a good mode, and they're adding stuff that nobody fucking asked for. You know it's a good mode because people from Warzone 2 were coming over to play DMZ because Warzone 2 was fucking trash. Now, I'm obviously not just going to bitch about this without giving some solutions. So here's what I think they should have done instead. They should have made it to where you actually interact with the map or stuff inside of the map to get those benefits. For example, you could have had like a mud puddle or, mud or like, wet sand that you could have rubbed on your body to give you the Cold-Blooded perk temporarily. For Ghost, they could have had an equipment item where you could have found a ghillie suit and equipped that. And maybe they could have given it a negative, where if you equip the ghillie suit, you don't have as much armor, like you can only wear a 2-plate vest. Something like that. For EOD, maybe you actually find like a flak jacket vest or an EOD suit. Stuff that you can actually find in the map, and the thing is, when you find them in the map, it's a guaranteed perk. You know what you're getting. It's not just some random garbage that you're getting when you exfil. For High Alert, I don't know, maybe put a rear view camera on the back of your helmet, I don't fucking know. One other thing I want to mention is that there's got to be a curated list of perks that you can get and earn. Because Obviously, they're not going to have overkill because you can already bring in 2 fucking weapons in the raid. Same thing as it goes with extra tactical because you can already find another tactical in the raid. I'm speaking out about this because I love the DMZ mode and I do not want to see it ruined or bastardized by just one small design decision that could have been implemented better. Now, obviously, adding those items in would be more work for the devs, and that's understandable. However, it would be a better system and make you interact with the map itself in Al Mazrah rather than just getting lucky and hoping you get the perk you want or need, or something that was actually useful even, for Al Mazrah after the match. And with those items, you could keep them too. If I live with an EOD suit, I get to bring that into my next raid. If I live with that ghillie suit, I get to bring that in the next raid. The mud I can cover myself to give myself cold-blooded temporarily could be at set locations on the map, or at set locations and have them randomly chosen, you know? So maybe it's in this location, this raid, and then you come in the next raid and it's in a different location. Like, they could have the same number of them on the map, but have them be in different locations every single time you come in. I think this could have been a good idea and a good system to add if it went in the oven longer and came out like this instead of just, oh, you get a random perk after you exfil if you get a contract done. Alright, my rant's over. For those of you that stuck around and hung out with me to listen to me vent about this, I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know how you think they should go about it, or if you agree with my idea. Consider liking and subscribing for more Call of Duty content and DMZ content, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Have a good night.